Whether you are starting your fitness journey or you have been at it for a while, you might be thinking about adding protein powder to your diet. In this video, let's go over what whey protein exactly is, how it is made, clear up some common myths around it, and how you can use it to build muscle and lose fat. Let's do this. Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about protein powder. You have probably heard all kinds of things about it, from its muscle building powers to its supposed drawbacks. I still have people reaching out to me saying, hey Vatsa, is it okay to take whey protein? Some people are against it because they think it's not natural or it is harmful. But before we move ahead, if you are new to this channel, firstly, welcome. My name is Vatsa and I am just a normal guy who did his master's and recently quit his job in the US to pursue his passion, which is fitness. Therefore, on this channel, I share low-calorie Indian recipes, diets, and break down fitness concepts just like this into very simple terms anybody can understand. So if you are an average Indian just like me, who's either studying or working in India, in the US, or anywhere else in the world, and you are looking to lose fat, build muscle, and just live a healthy lifestyle in the most seamless and sustainable way possible, then please do consider subscribing. With that being said, let's get started. First things first, what are the different kinds of protein powder? This is mainly divided into two types. You have the plant-based protein, which is mainly derived from soy, peas, rice, quinoa, and a few other plant sources. And then you have the dairy-based protein powder, which is basically again divided into four more categories. You have casein protein, whey protein concentrate, whey protein isolate, and hydrolyzed whey. There are a few other protein powders in the market, like you have egg white powder, you have vegan protein powder, but the mass majority is divided into these two categories, which is the plant-based and the dairy-based. And today specifically, we will talk about dairy-based, in specific whey protein, because a lot of people, especially Indians, have a lot to say about it. So what is whey protein? How is it made? And what are the different types? Whey protein is basically derived from milk. It is the liquid part that is separated when cheese is made. And it's this liquid part that's protein rich and is then filtered and processed into powder form, which is nothing but whey protein. Now, circling back to the different types of whey protein, it's usually divided into four categories, like I mentioned before. The first one is casein protein. This is higher in calories, a bit heavy, and it's slow digesting protein. It's not absorbed quickly by the body. And because of this, it is recommended to have casein protein in the night just before bed rather than post-workout. Number two is whey protein concentrate. Now, this is the least processed form of whey protein. It contains about 60 to 70% protein along with carbohydrates and fat. It's also the most cost-effective one. Number three is whey protein isolate. Now, this undergoes further processing to remove more of the fat and the lactose, resulting in higher protein content, usually about 90%. So this is lower in carbohydrates, lower in fat as compared to whey protein concentrate. So if you are one of those who's looking to minimize your intake of carbs and fat while maximizing protein content, then this is a good option to go with, but keep in mind it is going to be a bit more expensive as well. Number four is hydrolyzed whey. Now, this is further filtrated and it contains no fat and no carbs, which means it's easier and quicker for the body to absorb. This also means that there's no lactose. So if you are lactose intolerant, then you probably would want to go with an isolate or an hydrolyzed whey. But do bear in mind that this is by far the most expensive option, as it contains the most amount of protein as well. Now, just understanding all of this, we can pretty much debunk most of the myths that are out there regarding whey protein. Like, number one, it's not safe or it's not natural. Whey protein is made from milk, guys, a natural source. It is a byproduct of the cheese making process. There's nothing synthetic or unnatural about it. When it comes to safety, whey protein is extensively researched and it's deemed safe for consumption by many health organizations, including the FDA. Obviously, you should consume it in moderation like everything else. I wouldn't recommend more than 1 to 2 scoops per day, but rest assured, whey protein is perfectly safe for the majority of individuals. Another myth that I hear a lot is that it's only for bodybuilders. While It's used by bodybuilders and athletes to support their muscle building goals. It's not just exclusive to them. Whey protein can benefit anyone looking to increase their protein intake. At the end of the day, guys, it's just a convenient way to hit your protein goals. And finally, another myth that I hear a lot among us is that it is bad for the kidneys. While excess protein can put strain on the kidneys, there is no evidence that moderate amount of protein or protein powder is harmful for healthy individuals. Again, if you do have a pre-existing kidney issue, I would stay away from it, but otherwise you are completely fine. At the end of the day, I will say this again, it's just a convenient way to get your protein in and just increase your protein intake. Moving on to the whey protein you should go with. Now, if you are not intolerant to anything, then my recommendation would be a normal whey, which has a blend of concentrate and isolate. This is relatively cheaper as compared to the other ones, and its nutrition profile is not as different as an isolate or a hydrolyzed whey. Obviously, those who have more protein, they'll have lesser carbs and lesser fat, but they're also quite expensive. But if you are lactose intolerant, then you'll be better off with either an isolate or a hydrolyzed whey, but feel free to choose whichever works for you. I'm not going to make any recommendations in terms of brands. For me personally, I go with Muscle Blaze when I'm in India, and when I'm in the US, I usually go with Optimum Nutrition, or I go with My Protein. Again, choose the brand that you trust based on your goals and also how much you're willing to spend. And finally, let's talk about how you can use whey protein to build muscle and burn fat. One thing you need to understand here, guys, is that whey protein alone cannot build muscle or burn fat. Okay, a lot of people think that it's a magic shake and as soon as you have it, you miraculously build muscle. That's not true, guys. Like I said before, it's just protein. But the amount of protein that you consume per day decides whether you build muscle or not. And what whey protein does, it helps you hit those protein goals. But with that being said, adding whey protein to your diet bumps up your overall protein intake, and a high protein diet helps with satiety because protein is by far the most satiating macronutrient, and that means staying in a calorie deficit becomes easier and it's easier to burn fat. It also helps with muscle protein synthesis, which is basically a process where the muscles repair and grow after exercise. And whey contains an amino acid called leucine, which plays a key role in stimulating this muscle protein synthesis. And that is why a lot of people say have a protein shake after workout so that this process begins. But like I mentioned before, don't go beyond 1 to 2 scoops per day. Try to get most of your protein through whole foods, but hey, use that whey protein powder for that convenience factor. With that, I come to the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a thing or two. I know I covered a lot, but I hope I simplified it for you. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel. And until next time, you take care, you stay safe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.